Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Shranvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hradayantastho Bhadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 18, verses 21 and 22. Verse 21. Yaksha raksamsi bhutani pishacha pishitasana bhutesha vatsa duduhu kapale ksatajasavam. Synonyms. Yaksha, the Yakshas, the descendants of Kuvera. Rakshamsi, the Rakshasas, meat-eaters. Bhutani, ghosts. Pishacha, witches. Pishita asana, who are all habituated to eating flesh. Bhutesha, Lord Shiva's incarnation, Rudra. Vatsa, whose calf. Duduhu, milked out. Kapale, in a pot of skulls. Kshataja, blood. Asavam, a fermented beverage. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Then the yakshas, rakshasas, ghosts, and witches who are habituated to eating flesh transformed Lord Shiva's incarnation Rudra, Bhutanath, into a calf and milked out beverages made of blood and put them in a pot made of skulls. Purport. There are some types of living entities in the form of human beings whose living conditions and eatables are most abominable. Generally, they eat flesh and fermented blood, which is mentioned in this verse as Kshatajasavam. The leaders of such degraded men, known as Yakshas, Rakshasas, Bhutas, and Pishachas, are all in the mode of ignorance. They have been placed under the control of Rudra. Rudra is the incarnation of Lord Shiva and is in charge of the mode of ignorance in material nature. Another name of Lord Shiva is Bhutanath, meaning master of ghosts. Rudra was born from between Brahma's eyes when Brahma was very angry at the four Kumaras. Text 22. तथा हयोदण्डसुखः सर्पनागश्च तक्षकं विधाय वत्सं दुदुहुर्बिलपात्रे विशम्पय. Synonyms. Tatha, similarly. Ahaya, snakes without hoods. Dandasuka, scorpions. Sarpa, cobras. Naga, big snakes. Cha, and Takshakam, Takshak, chief of the snakes. Vidhaya, making. Vatsam, calf. Duduhu, milked out. Bilapatre, in the pot of snake holes. Visham, poison. Paya, as milk. Translation. Thereafter, cobras and snakes without hoods, large snakes, scorpions, and many other poisonous animals took poison out of the planet Earth as their milk and kept this poison in snake holes. They made a calf out of Takshaka. Purport. Within this material world, there are various types of living entities, and the different types of reptiles and scorpions mentioned in this verse are also provided with their sustenance by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The point is that everyone is taking his eatables from the planet Earth. According to one's association with the material qualities, one develops a certain type of character. Payapanam bhujanganam. If one feeds a serpent milk, the snake will simply increase his venom. However, if one supplies milk to a talented sage or saint, the sage will develop finer brain tissues by which he can contemplate higher spiritual life. Thus, the Lord is supplying everyone food, but according to the living entity's association with the modes of material nature, the living entity develops his specific character. नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णाप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself, and please forgive me for any shortcomings. I have taken notes from lectures by His Holiness Prahladanand Swami and His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. Planet Earth at one point didn't want to supply grains and other types of resources to the inhabitants. So Prithu Maharaj threatened the earth, who later took the form of a cow and is given the necessities of life to the inhabitants of earth. Now here it's been described that different habitants have different necessities. According to the material nature that we acquire, we have gotten this body. And according to the body, we like and dislike certain things. They got the mystic powers to put flesh and blood in skull and consume it. These verses and purports are very relevant for devotees. Why? Because we can see the opposite in terms of behavior in the lives of Vaishnavas. Prabhupada describes this diet, this lifestyle of eating meat and drinking blood as abominable. And if we look at the life of devotees, they are fed with sumptuous prasadam that is offered to Krishna. Eatables are divided into three modes of material nature. In Bhagavad Gita 17.10, Krishna says, food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life, purify the mind, and aid bodily strength. This is its only purpose. Animal fat is available in the form of milk, which is the most wonderful of all foods. The civilized method of obtaining needed fat is by milk. Slaughter is the way of subhumans. Foods that are not fresh and decomposed, such foods give a bad odor which often attracts people in the mode of darkness, but repulses those in the mode of goodness. Another word mentioned in the purport is Rakshasas. How may one become Rakshasa? In Bhagavad Gita 9.4 to 9.10, Krishna explains about his potencies. And then he is speaking about what happens when people don't accept. Some people, even after reading all the glories of Krishna, they deny accepting him being the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 9.11 says, fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Then in 9.12, Krishna clearly says, what is the consequence of that mentality? You become a Rakshasa. Prabhupada explains there, if someone is not a devotee, take it for granted that he is a demon. This is how uncompromising Srila Prabhupada is. Example, Ravana was a very elevated Brahmana, That's why he was able to attract the attention of Lord Shiva with his incredible austerities and penances. Also, he had great opulence, influence, and wealth. However, one mistake completely disqualified him and made him to be known as a Rakshasa, and that is denying the authority of Sri Ramchandra. As explained by Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.30, Puna Punascharvita Charvananam. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. One may have gained the mystic powers in some way, but then after some time, he tried to misuse those powers to enjoy the result is he becomes degraded. Another word mentioned is Bhutesha. Here, Lord Shiva is referred as Bhutanath, which means the master of the ghosts. In third canto, there is description of untimely pregnancy of Titi. Also, the role of Lord Shiva in that discussion is very instructive. It is said that the ghosts, bhutas, follow Lord Shiva. The ghosts have intelligence and mind. However, they don't have physical body to act their desires. So their existence is very torturous and agitated, and thus they cause troubles and disturbances to get into bodies of other people. So to assist them out of compassion, Lord Shiva allows them to enter into the wombs of women with untimely sex, and that's how they can have body to fulfill their desires. Next verse talks about poisonous creatures and importance of poison in their lives. For humans, a cup of poison is harmful, but in the body of snake, a cup of poison is nectar. Mother Earth is supplying everyone with the necessities of life without discrimination. All different edibles are within Mother Earth. There is food and there is prasadam. Food is eaten by everyone, including animals. But the effect of prasadam, however, is transcendental. Because it is offered to the Lord, it is transformed into a spiritual substance. Therefore, just by honoring prasadam, people can advance in Krishna consciousness. Now, the eating may be in different ways, as described here. We may be eating with mouth and tongue. That's the normal way of eating. But we may also be eating with our eyes. That is also a type of eating where we are seeing different objects by digesting light with our eyes. The ears are trying to hear something and digest the sound vibrations. Similarly, with other senses, they eat and digest as required, and then we enjoy or suffer in the material world. Living entities are hungry for happiness. The senses are hungry for food to experience happiness. The devotees of Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat the food that is offered to Krishna. By performing sacrifice, we come in contact with Krishna and become out of range of illusory energy. For a body, something that is considered to be abominable, for another body, it's very nice. And out of all types of eating that we are doing, the most important food is Srimad Bhagavatam. We hear Srimad Bhagavatam and digest it by trying to understand it. We have to become hungry to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and then try to simulate it and do a little exercise, putting it into practice. That way we experience it. Then whatever we are doing, we'll be doing in Krishna consciousness. Then we won't be dealing with any material sense objects. They will be all spiritual objects. Instead of bewildering us by putting us under the spell of illusion, everything we will be doing, everything we will be tasting, smelling, touching will be in the service of Krishna, which will further enlighten us and purify us to know that we are forever Krishna's servant. Only when we become Krishna's servant and experience the bliss, we can be happy. I will stop here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavane